This is the Open University.
Good morning and welcome back to the Open University, and we have a very special program lined up for you today because I'm no longer just talking about my boring ideas and my old ruminations about my life and flogging my products to. We have a much more human interest episode of the Open University today because we can talk to my girlfriend, or people have been questioning this appellation and saying, why am I not referring to you as my fiancée? Well, I will also, my fiancée, girlfriend, stroke, wife, stroke, everything. So she's very shy. She hasn't done any television before, not even YouTube. So don't think, have you ever done any YouTube?
No, never.
She's just warming up, We don't have any whiskey. I was going to suggest she have a few glugs of Lafroig whiskey, but I finished it the other night. So Noemi, as she's known to family and friends, Nono for short, if we want to get familiar. I don't know if you viewers are allowed to call her Nono. I think only I and her family are allowed to call her that. She also has some other nicknames like Fourmi. Oh no, you don't want these nicknames told? Fourmi means ant.
Okay.
I don't know why. I guess you have a shape like an ant. That's why your mother called you Fourmi.
No, it's too pompous to say that. It's because my mother thinks I'm small but strong.
That's when you were small, but now you've grown up.
I mean, not small, but I look weak.
You look weak, but actually you can lift more than your weight. I can testify to this. Like you carry me, if I'm tired after a long day's walking around Berlin, you carry me home with your two mandibles. Not really. So you've been in Berlin for a week, and you're going back, I guess, on Sunday to Mulhouse, which is the town you come from. You want to talk about your life in Mulhouse before you moved to Paris?
Well, there isn't much to say.
Mulhouse is on the border of Germany, essentially. So it's
and Switzerland.
And
It's
Switzerland.
near Basel and Germany.
I guess people are going to wonder how we met. Do we want to talk about how we met? You said that the first thing you ever heard about me was on a blog, and it was about a song called "The Seventh Wife of Henry VIII."
Yes, it's because I like Japanese music, and the French Japanese pop community is people. They had many blogs, and they were mostly gay men, and one of them, I liked his blog very much, and he recommended a song of Kahimi Kali, which you wrote, which is the seventh wife of Henry VIII. And he said that you were a genius, and so I trusted him because
I thought you said génial, not genius.
oui, mais c'est pareil.
Génial is nice. It means he's a nice guy. I don't know how he knew that though. He doesn't.
No. It's in the sense genius.
Oh, okay. Génial, really?
Mm.
Oh, I thought it just meant nice.
It's both.
Okay.
Mm. And I trusted him because it's on his blog that I discovered singers I love.
So we are both weeaboo.
That's right.
And so Mulhouse is your town. It's a small town on the German and Swiss borders. Sort of. Actually, if you fly into the airport, you have exits into France, Switzerland, or Germany. And but then you moved after studying at university in Mulhouse and then Strasbourg. You studied East Asian. You studied languages.
Yes, English and Japanese.
So you can speak. You can actually read Japanese much better than. Well, I can't read Japanese at all, but I can. Maybe I can speak it slightly better than you. Informally.
For sure.
But you've been to Japan many times. In fact, twice you've been, since I left Japan in 2018, you've been back there twice on business because your work as someone who works for a garments company that does second-hand military supplies mostly, and the Japanese love that stuff for kind of fashion. So you've been out there in China and Japan.
Yes. China Japan and Hong Kong.
And we share an interest in clothes, as you can see. We have outfits. I got this for €1 in Humana, and we got this. How much was this one?
€6, I think.
What do you think the...
And this?
This was €1.
€1.
Yeah. Do you think Paris is better for second-hand clothes or Berlin?
Well, Berlin. But then we didn't go in any curated vintage stores.
Yeah.
Only Humanas. But the Humanas here, they are so big compared to girls in France or
Emmaus. Yeah, these charity shops. Humana is like a department store of a charity.
Well, actually, there are many nice vintage stores in Paris, but they're not too expensive.
You got a message from a Japanese person, a tourist who's going to Paris, and saying which is the best second-hand store.
Yes, I need to answer that question.
Sorry, we didn't answer yet. Whoever that person is. We both have Tumblrs, so we get these messages on Tumblr and stuff. We both seem to have this interest in clothes. In fact, my Open University videos are just an excuse for me to wear second-hand clothes and to be moving around in the picture. You've been to Berlin twice. This is your second time. I usually come to Paris, but third time because you came with a school trip. Yeah. Second time to stay with me in Berlin. Once was in winter. First time was in winter. How has this week been in terms of enjoying the city?
Much better than in winter.
Of course. Apart from me getting ticks in the forest when we went to the Tierpark and the zoo, the Eastern Zoo. We've been wandering around, going to the airport, the old Tempelhof airport, and going up to the centre of town, to Mitte. We had some very nice Vietnamese sandwiches the other day. Oh, do you want to say something about your Vietnamese component? Because I described Noemi in an early song as a Vietnamese Parisian garments dealer, and that's really kind of inaccurate.
Yeah, because I'm partly Vietnamese, but I'm not born as a Parisian. And I'm not a garments dealer anymore.
Well, you kind of are, because you still have the job, but you've been working from home for a long time, like many of us.
Oh.
But we're hoping, Noemi would like to pursue a career in acting. As you can see, she's made for acting much more than office work and sales work. So the travel was good, though, in that job. I think it was nice to be sent to Japan. But you didn't really have time to enjoy China and Japan.
No, it was terrible. Not terrible, but very frustrating.
We were planning to travel this year a lot until the COVID thing came up. I got COVID and recovered from it. Noemi hasn't. As far as we know, you haven't had it.
I don't know.
You might have been asymptomatic. Mulhouse was actually a hotspot in France for a while. It was the place with the most COVID in the whole of France. But now it's, I guess, has the most antibodies.
Yes.
So it's relatively safe now, yeah.
Mm.
So you've been with your family. I haven't seen my family since this whole thing started. Do you want to say something about your families? So your father's father was Vietnamese.
Yes.
How did he leave Vietnam?
It's during the Second World War, because many Frenchmen were sent to the war. There were needs for people in factories and things like this. And because Vietnam was a French colony,
Ils ont quoi?
Acquisitionné.
The acquisition? They requisitioned, like enforced labor? Or no,
yes.
they just...
They asked them to come to France, and my grandfather, he wasn't actually called. His brother was called to go to France and work in factories. But because his brother was already married and had children, and my grandfather was still young and didn't have any wife or anything, he went instead of him, a bit like Mulan. And therefore he came to France and worked in factories, but he was a tailor.
So you're carrying on, by working with clothes, you're carrying on that family tradition of Vietnamese tailoring.
I don't know.
So it's not so inaccurate to say Vietnamese Parisian garments tailor. Parisian just as the place where you now live. And Vietnamese via your father. But your mother's family is a bit different. Can you talk about her?
Yes, she's a manouche. It's the word to define French gypsies. And yes, that's That's what she is. So
that's quite a strange combination, Vietnamese and Gypsy, or Romani. Do I say Romani? It's the politically... You don't mind the word Gypsy. It's not offensive to use the word Gypsy, right?
I guess it is in English, I don't really know.
Gitan in French is a bit different.
Gitan is... it's wrong, actually, because Gitan is only Spanish. Spanish speaking, Spanish.
So there's
located.
Manouche and there's another... What's the Spanish branch called?
Gitan.
Just Gitan. Okay, so...
And Germany and Italy and the east of France is also Sinte. France is
Sinte.
Manouche also. My family is more Sinte actually, but also Manouche. And the Eastern Europe, it's Rome.
Okay, so the Rome word is only for Eastern Europeans. But your mother's... You've all done your DNA tests with these companies that do DNA testing with saliva. And so your mother's... a lot of her roots are in the Balkans, right? She had a big percentage.
Actually, no.
It goes back to India, though, right?
Yeah, the gypsies, they come from the north of India, and then they came to Europe, but they went through Western Asia, Greece, Balkans. And so in my mother's DNA, and to some extent mine, you can see the progression of her ancestry. Because she has Indian blood, but also a lot of blood from Western Asia, mostly Anatolian blood,
Turkish,
and Eastern Europe, Romania, Bulgaria, Hungary, Russia, Greece, Italy.
See, I had my DNA test done earlier this year too, and I felt so domestic, so unglamorous, because mine was all DNA from... It wasn't even any Scandinavian component, it was all from Scotland and Ireland, or possibly England, but I don't even want to talk about how it said I might be 50% English. But it was actually localizing everything to Argyll and the West Highlands and the islands, which is accurate because we come on my mother's side from the island of Mull. So, but it's very, very... I'm very unhybrid, if that's a word. You're very hybrid from all these different areas.
Yeah, but it doesn't really matter in the end.
No, because we're together. If we have children, my descendants will be exotic. They'll get all the advantage of all these different places. But so we've been together now for 2 years, right, as a couple?
Soon 2 years.
Soon 2 years, yeah. It was June 2018. I came back from Asia, and we'd been corresponding, I guess, about music and stuff, things like that. And then I made a special detour to Paris to come and see you, because I flew back to Frankfurt. And you were living in a different and much less nice flat then in Nation district of Paris. Has it been a good 2 years so far? Would you recommend me as a boyfriend?
I would give you...
Sur 10.
Sur 10. No, I would give you 10 out of 10.
Oh, 10 out of 10. Yes. And obviously there is an age gap, but you keep me young and fresh, I think. So I don't think people look at us on the street and say, oh, look what a huge age gap is. You're in your late 20s, right?
No, I'm a teenager and I'm wearing linen.
Oh my God. On television, you can be anyone. You can reinvent yourself. Do you think I've changed you as a person in the 2 years?
Yeah, of course.
In what sense? What direction?
Since we met, I feel more free and more. I feel like I have more possibilities in my life, in the way I allow myself to be somehow. Not opportunities per se, but more in the way that I can be more a better version of myself. I don't know.
So one of your hobbies, your interests outside work is to do amateur theatre so far, and
Yes.
you're interested in doing some theatrical studies, maybe become a drama student in Paris.
Yes, but it's a bit early to.
Because you have auditions next week. You're nervous about your audition next week. We have some plays here which you're memorising and studying to get through these auditions into drama school.
I actually just applied to one for now because it's the one I want. But if I fail, then perhaps I will try other schools. But it would be so sad.
So despite having an interest in Shibuya Kei, you were never interested in a singing career?
Well, I don't know music. I mean, I don't know how
You sing well.
Oh, you are too.
In the bath or in the shower. Yeah, you're a good singer. But it doesn't seem to be an ambition of yours as much as acting.
When I was a kid, I wanted to be a singer. But
We all did, and we all posed in front of the mirror with the hairbrush. Yeah.
yeah.
So, are there any questions you want to ask me? I put you on the spot.
No.
I mean, we have what about our different kind of bubble lives? The Berlin bubble. I have this bubble where I'm in my apartment here in Berlin. It's a bit bigger. It's cheaper rent, but also bigger than your apartment in Paris, which is normal because Berlin is still, despite the inflation and increasing rents, not inflation. Rent increases. It's still a cheaper city. It's 8 times the size of Paris, apparently, the size of central Paris. So it's very spread out, and there's still a lot of apartments to be had. So do you feel we have a different life? We kind of have the same life in both cities, don't we? We just swan about, and we go to cafes, and we enjoy the parks.
Yeah. Yes, it's quite similar.
Quite similar what we do.
But it's very different atmospheres. It's more laid back here in Berlin. People are more relaxed, and it's different in Paris. It's
Paris is more kind of elegant and a little bit high tension, high pressure.
yeah, more like Italy, I guess.
Yeah, more Latin. Yeah, yeah. I like Paris. I like being in Paris. Berlin is more hippie in a way that I'm not really. I don't go and just play techno music down by the river, and people are very hedonistic here in a slightly toxic way. I don't know. Sometimes you think nobody has any work here at all, and they all just, especially now, they seem to be just endlessly pleasure-seeking.
That's good, no?
Yeah, but it's nice, but it can lead to some kind of awful Burning Man type style. I always think it's a bit like Burning Man, this sort of spiral tribe. I don't know, hippie baba kind of life, which is not very focused, not very ambitious, not very productive. So I'm quite puritanical about I would like to be productive. So I can do that here. I can do that. I can make books and records here. Paris is a bit more, because it's more expensive, it's a bit more high pressure, like how do you make money to live there? Okay, the two cities. Yeah, so what are we going to do today?
Us?
You have some ideas what we should do in the city?
I would like some ice latte.
Ice latte, yeah, that's always a good start. The cafes around here, actually my favourite Berlin Cafe Arabica, which also exists in Paris, there are 2 branches in Paris, closed down just before the COVID thing struck, so that was the best. Ice latte. Bonanza Coffee Heroes we haven't been in Prenzlauer Berg, maybe we should go up to Prenzlauer Berg and go to Bonanza Coffee Heroes. That's on Oderberger Strasse, the Mauer Park, Kastanienallee. It's quite a chic, shopping-y kind of area, a bit like Mitte, but slightly younger and more relaxed. There's more green space there. You could go up there and get some ice latte there. They're quite famous third wave coffee place. But actually we have a nice place just across the road here, Endorfina, which we were in yesterday, under a huge sort of barn roof. Berlin has lots of secret places in the courtyards behind the main facade. Paris, yeah, Kitsune is our favourite place in Paris, probably the Palais Royal.
Yes.
And I have my scooter, trottinette. We were riding a scooter yesterday. In Paris, I have my own electric scooter, but here we have to rent the Lime ones. And we were at the airport, Tempelhof Airport, yesterday. You were having lessons because you're not very confident on a scooter. I'm showing up all your weaknesses. No, it's not a weakness. It's charming. But you've never learned to ride a bicycle, which I find amazing. How can somebody not ride a bicycle? Here, it's very much a bicycle city, and I have 2 bikes out there in the back, and you could ride one if you knew how.
I don't know why. I just never had the need. I don't know.
Mulhouse is not really a cycling city.
I don't know. It's small, so you don't. No,
You can walk.
I don't know why I never learned. But
You never had. You and your sister. You have a younger sister.
yes, but she learned recently.
Oh, she learned to ride in Paris.
No, in
Mulhouse. She has a bicycle in Mulhouse.
in Strasbourg.
She in Strasbourg. She has her own bike in Strasbourg.
No.
No.
She doesn't feel comfortable enough to ride in the city.
Yeah, I was brought up on 2 wheels really as much as walking. Probably more than walking, riding bicycles in Athens. And not so much in Montreal because it's too cold. Snowy. So what do you think of my style? Do you think we had an idea to dress you, that I would dress you in my clothes for this, and we'd pretend that you were like my puppet, and we thought that was undignified, quite rightly. Would have been a joke, obviously. But what do you think? Do you think my style has influenced your style over there? Or you think we have a convergence of styles? Was your style different? You had you like English-speaking men, don't you? Because before me, you had a boyfriend who was Welsh. And perhaps we shouldn't talk about your exes on television. He now lives in the Philippines. He moved to the Philippines. I guess his style was he was more into like video game style and stuff like that. Yeah. What do you think of my style? It's sort of a thrift store.
I love it. You know, I love it.
How do I smell? Do I smell okay? Don't smell of mothballs.
No comment.
No comment. Oh, you like my smell, don't you? No comment. Okay. No comment on smells. I don't know. We've done 22 minutes. These are normally 22 minutes. Maybe that's it. Was there anything you wanted to talk about that we didn't cover? We talked about theatre, DNA, our relationship. Don't leave any nasty comments, please, you bastards who leave. I mean, there's very few negative comments. But yeah, we both have very thin skins. We're very sensitive people, so please be kind to us. Yoroshiku onegaishimasu. Thank you for your attention. This is where I walk out. See, we have to pretend to walk out as if we're going somewhere. Here, at least, there are other rooms where we can pretend to go. You go. I'll go this way. We'll make it look as if we're going to different places.
Open University.